just wanted to know for capillary exchange, the basic like arterial, there's higher blood pressure, so it leaves. The middle, it's equal, and then the venous, there's higher osmosis, so the fluid goes back in. Is that all you want us to know?
So I haven't written a question yet about that, but the key is that fluid is being exchanged. A lot of fluid goes out of the capillary and also food. Okay, so like 30 liters a day, which is a lot, and a lot of it goes back in. And a little bit that doesn't goes into the lymphatic. So that's really what tells you a large part of what the lymphatics do is returning. If I was to ask you what do the lymphatic vessels do, what do they do?
Fight off infection.
They filter the 3% of the fluid that gets returned, the interstitial fluid that gets returned.
Right, so they're a conduit that brings fluid back into the venous return, so it joins back in. So all the blood is together and then it gets partitioned out into the tissues and then it goes back into the blood or back into the lymph and goes back around.
And you watched a video on that, Christina?
Yeah, it's on Canvas.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
That's where I got that picture from that you were looking
Okay,
at.
so there's a video on Canvas.
Videos.
Chapter 6, right?
On the exam, we don't really have that to study from. Should we be,
Which exam?
Our,
Midterm?
but only the midterm.
the midterms?
You don't have that to study from?
We
No,
just
the
have
answer
the
sheet.
answer.
The answer sheet.
Yeah,
Because
usually
it's
Some
the
people
labeling.
nobody?
Mm-mm.
No, because you gave us like 3 different pages.
Right.
And we only got the answer key.
We don't have
Our answers back, there's
But we didn't
Nobody
get
has
like
that?
the,
Yeah.
Oh, I'm happy to post that for you so you can look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was worried about the diagrams. I was like, oh my
Yeah,
gosh, which
well-
ones were on there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
good question, thanks, Katie.
Since we won't have the skull to actually, you said, for the final true.
No, you
Okay.
won't have it.
I'm
so sorry.
Will there be school diagram, bones for us to label? Because that was one of the questions from some of the gals, or people that can't be here. So do you know the bones from our homework packet? She shook her head, yes.
But remember, I'm not gonna ask anything that is not on your quiz, okay? So review, or
Yes.
midterms, so review those midterms, make sure
That
you
you're
know
gonna post.
those, that I'll post
Okay.
that midterm.
okay, so what's the next chapter? Chapter 8?
Is 7 not going to be on this?
7 will be on it, what is
Because it's from the
7?
quiz?
7's on the
Seven is
quiz.
glands, right?
The glands.
Okay.
The gland box.
Yeah, but you can review your
The table.
quiz, that table.
Okay. And that's it for chapter 7?
Copy and paste. Thank you, Davis. Copy and paste, don't be afraid to use it.
Don't be arranged to make a multiple choice out of a
Oh my god,
Yeah.
show
or
up.
answer or an
Is
essay.
that what we were doing for chapter 7?
Will it be another diagram like that one was, or can you not
I'd be
tell us
able to
that?
The table,
Yeah.
I'd like to make it a couple of short answer, like fill in the
Okay,
blank
just
answer
answers from
instead of a
people.
table.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's easier grading
do
for
that.
me.
Diagram,
that's-
diagram.
That's easier to
Yeah.
focus on too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Chapter 8.
So chapter 7 sounds good, chapter 8.
Can you go over what we need to know for the trigeminal nerve? I think we're all kind of confused how in depth we need to know.
Is it just V1, V2, and V3?
But then I feel like we need to
Is
know
that
the
what we
second-
have, is that what we have on this figure?
Yeah.
What is that?
Well, there's more
Oh,
than
yeah.
just V1.
Yeah,
Oh,
just
labeling.
Right. So
Okay.
labeling.
Oh, is there
If I
something at
was-
the bottom? What is that written down there?
So if I was to ask you, to pick 4 of the branches, not the major branches, so not V1, V2, and V3, but 4 other branches, would you be able to pick 4 and tell me what their target, what they're innervating? Either a muscle, so motor, or a sensory. So I will give a choice and I'll just tell you right now, that's what I'll do. I'll ask you for 4.
So it's like what you post
What did-
online.
What does she mean
This
before?
I just
Yeah, so pick 4.
Maria,
four.
can you see that?
Can you guys tell me what you mean?
So we-
Oh, this is what was on Canvas.
So you pick
Like
your-
general.
Well, because
There's
this
branches
is,
It was.
maxillary mandibular.
Yeah,
they all
so
branch
like
off
that
as well.
lacrimal could be
If you
one
don't
of your
give us the
branches
major-
you picked, and you would say the lacrimal gland and the conjunctiva.
Oh,
There's like
Just
one
so
about
V1
it.
is
This one?
Yeah, but not the three.
On
On
then
going
the
for
branch
Canvas,
would
she
be,
actually
Because
wrote
it's
it out.
not
you could
V1,
pick
V2,
all
or
three of
V3,
these
not
and
those
one
ones.
of these.
Then one.
But I'll give you
I
the
bet
picture,
you can
right?
take a picture.
Yeah, other than V1.
Do you want an
Maria, it was
example
other
of,
than
like,
not V1, 2, or 3.
Yeah, not V1, 2, or 3.
It's the 4 branches up here at the top,
Which one?
right?
That's way
No,
too
no,
much.
that's just frontal.
example,
Tribe
though,
generals,
you
the
Okay.
V1, V2, V3, and then it branches. And I wrote out what they interval.
like the maxillary and the mandibular, and then they all branch off.
Yeah.
And they target certain.
Would you say like the zygomatic
Yeah.
cofacial would be like
need to do this?
zygomatic
No, we don't.
area bones? So the
The
three main ones, and then they branch off.
Yeah. So you would pick like,
Nasomaxillary?
let's say this one right here.
Nasociliary.
Which one is it? This
Okay,
one.
we gotta get that
The
cleared up.
maxillary superior alveolar. It'd be like the.
Which is this one, right?
4 major branches
I
and
think
the
that's like
targets,
the maxillary
and not
molars.
V1, V2, or V3.
Around there,
So
that's
then
where
it
it
would
innervates,
be
so that's where you would mine it.
what?
Kind of goes with like the.
What about,
Maxillary? Or-
the infraorbital
too.
is a branch of
Like-
what,
This is this one right here.
what,
To be
like
like
the
the
major
oh wait, so
one?
it's
Ma-
your
It's a branch of a max,
This
of
is
V2,
here,
it's a branch of
this
V2.
one.
So then,
It'd be like
and what does that
femolars.
innervate?
Okay, let me
The lower
I'm gonna
eyelid.
see it real
ribs.
quick.
You know what it knows.
Okay, this right here, guys.
One here.
Just know what it knows. And that's on the.
Yeah.
This is a branch of V2.
But yeah,
V3 has several. V3 is the one that has multiple branches, right?
Well, they all do.
All of them do. Kristen, and I've asked you to, like, there,
Yeah.
those branches on here.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then if you know, you could just maybe write in here
Oh, like
what
you
the
did that.
branch,
Oh, yeah.
what the target is for
Like
that.
you
Can we take a picture of that?
Your
Yeah.
pattern.
Okay.
Just be like
What about like the,
Let me see the labeling there.
neuron
They all
with
look
the
like they
axon
came from the same
dendrites?
place.
Are we gonna be labeling a diagram of
yeah,
that?
just the cheek.
You
Can you
might
take a picture of this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That's on Canvas.
Something
too.
like that.
Oh, it is? Okay, never mind.
Chronic canvas.
Yeah.
That one or the close-up one where you see the,
Can you give this to Maria?
oh, gosh
The
darn it.
synaptic
The,
terminal.
the myelination, like,
Oh,
with
you
the
see.
dendrites, is it gonna be like a big one like that, or the single one that's close up with the?
Yeah, I haven't drawn it yet, but you know what myelin does. Okay, yeah, and where do you find myelin?
Around the nerve.
Yeah.
Oh, axon.
Yeah, some pain fibers are not myelinated and some are. So there are slow pain fibers and faster pain fibers. But
So some
typically
are and
the
some
pain
aren't.
fibers are much slower than almost all the other sensory fibers.
I had a question on, for number 8 from the study guide, it says action potential, can you draw and explain? Do you want something as far as the graph? Or do you want
That-
something as
yeah,
far
that
as
is
like
the
a
action.
membrane and the plus and the pumps and all of
So the graph is the action potential, and the explain could be what happens during that, what happens in a cell.
Like in between negative
But
-7.
that would just be wording, right?
It could be wording, or it could be what channels are there
Okay. Oh,
that make
okay.
up this,
Gotcha.
what make up rest. What make up, so we went over this, right, in class, but we went really quickly probably.
Would you like to know like the negative 70 and like the actual thresholds and stuff?
Well, truth be told, you can't ever know that.
Oh.
Every cell has it like
Yeah.
slightly
Different.
different, the books always draw it, but it doesn't, it really depends on how many channels you have open and things like that,
okay.
so,
It also
But
depends on what type of
what,
breed too, or. Because it also depends on the type of what type of
Can't, it doesn't do it. You record.